Hi, and welcome to the summary of the success session for 12th graders that was held initially at the end of February and then again in the middle of March. This is the summary presentation that includes important information with regard to registration for fall courses and the college application process. So stay tuned, and there will be a short assignment for students who did not attend one of the sessions that you'll need to do. So pay attention to the video, and the assignment should not be difficult after that. But the idea at this point, and it's a very important point in your middle college and SC4 career, because next year you're going to basically be doubling all the college courses that you took last year. And you don't want to just be like these people in the picture at the right, kind of floating down a lazy river. It sure is peaceful and nice doing that, but you can get carried in directions you don't necessarily want to go. So the folks on the left clearly have a direction in mind, and they know where they're going and how to get there. So kind of use those photos as a kind of a metaphor, I guess, for you really starting to step up now, know where you want to go next, because you've only got one more year at SC4, one more year as a Blue Water Middle College student. So don't take the lazy river approach to planning for next year. It will cost you, it very well could cost you valuable time and literally thousands of dollars in the years to come. So now is the time to do some thinking and some planning. Identify your academic finish line. What is your SC4 degree goal, or is it to maximize credit transfer? And then where do you want to go to school next, assuming that you're going to go on to a four-year college or university, or maybe complete some certification or another degree at SC4, or maybe it's to get a job after you finish your SC4 associate degree. So set the goals you want to get you there, and then work with a team of supporters. You've got them all around if you choose to take advantage of them. The middle college folks are here, the SC4 folks are here. There are admission representatives at the public and private four-year colleges and universities, all willing to help you make good decisions and take control of your plans. And when you do that, you'll feel good about things, especially heading into next year, and you'll feel really good at the end of next year with the results that you see. So what we did during the live face-to-face presentations, we had presentations by some admissions representatives of the University Center partners. I'll talk about those in just a second. Obviously, that won't be part of this recorded video summary, but I will talk about the three colleges that are represented on SC4's campus and what they offer in case you're interested in staying closer to home and continuing to save money on your college career. We talk about fall SC4 registration and the several things to consider when choosing courses. And then we kind of wrap up talking about prepping for college applications, which actually can start in just a matter of months for you guys, and it probably should start in just a matter of months if you're looking to go to a four-year college or university. And then we'll just have a few news and updates in the presentation as well. So the University Center partners are universities, four-year colleges or universities that have a place, if you will, on a community college campus. Other community colleges have university partners or University Center partners. At SC4, the three major colleges that are represented here are Ferris State University, University of Michigan Flint, and Walsh College. Now, the degrees that they offer, the bachelor's degrees that they offer, are fairly limited in terms of what they offer on their main campus. In other words, Ferris State would offer dozens and dozens of majors and bachelor's degrees. At SC4, their focus is criminal justice and what is known as a generalist degree. So you can take your classes at SC4, whether you were a criminal justice major and you're working on that associate degree or not. But if you're starting to think about maybe I'd like to go into criminal justice, now is a good time to make that decision, learn more about it. You can get a full bachelor's degree at Ferris State University, and as the admissions reps showed, if you went to the college and got your degree there, along with an academy and so on, it would be over $80,000. If you get the degree at SC4, it's under $20,000, and it's actually going to be a lot less for middle college students because a lot of those credits are being paid for by the Blue Water Middle College. So Ferris State University is something you should check into if you want to go into criminal justice. University of Michigan Flint offers 2 bachelor's degree programs. One is in psychology, and the other is a nursing degree. Now, the U of M Flint program at SC4 is actually for students who already have an associate degree in nursing or who already have their registered nursing certificate, their RN certification, and then they can roll that into a bachelor's of science in nursing. So those of you who are going into nursing, if you're going to stay at SC4 for the nursing program, you may want to then continue and get your bachelor's degree from University of Michigan Flint. Psychology majors and psychology degrees are very popular degrees. There's a lot of things you can do with them, and U of M Flint offers a bachelor's degree in psychology. Again, transferring most, if not all, of your classes you took at SC4 to their program, and then you can earn an associate degree with all the classes, I believe all of them being held on SC4's campus. So I don't know that you'd have to drive to Flint at all for that, but you'd have to check with them because that may be the case. Walsh College is a business-oriented college. You can get a degree at SC4 in accounting and I believe a general business bachelor's degree. Walsh is excellent when it comes to transferring credits. They will basically transfer every credit you've taken here, whether it's College Success or Earth Science or whatever, and that will give you 60 or 62 credits, and then you'll have another 62 probably or 60 to go through Walsh. But if you're wanting to go into business, Walsh College is a great business program. It's been around a long time, and they have many other satellites around campuses, if you will, satellite campuses around the state of Michigan. So if you happen to move into the city or move over into Grand Rapids, there very well may be a Walsh campus that you could complete your degree with. So some great opportunities. They are located in the MTech building. If you go up to the second floor, there's a center, the University Center, where these representatives are. They're not always there every day, but if you go up there, the second floor of MTech, someone will be there to tell you when the University Center reps from each school are available. They probably have signs on their offices. So very cool, something to check out, save you a lot of money and keep you close to home. All right, let me take a short break and then I'll be back and we'll start talking about registration. Okay, registration for fall classes at SC4 opens, as I record this, it's this coming Monday, April 11th. You may view this after that, and if so, then registration will be open. The fall classes are out there now on the wave, so you can see what's offered and what times and days and so on, so you can start checking that and start using your schedule planner tool. More on that in a few minutes, but there's a lot to consider when choosing classes for your SC4 registration in the fall. And next year, for all of you, I think it's going to be all college, no high school courses. Some of you may have 1 or 2 high school requirements that need to be met, maybe with a college course, but for most of you, it's going to be focusing 100% on college courses and completing your associate degree. So that is one of the first things, of course, to consider. What courses do you still need for your degree? Again, most of you are halfway through. You, at the end of this semester, the winter semester, senior year, you'll probably have 30, 31, 32 credits. Some of you maybe a few less than that, but you'll probably need another 30 or so to complete your degree. So certainly understanding what you need for your degree is important. Now, beyond that, you want to choose courses that maybe will help you complete your SC4 associate degree and will transfer successfully to other colleges and universities. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Every course that transfers successfully will save you at least $1,000, if not $2,000, for every course that transfers successfully. One other thing to consider is prerequisite courses, and I'll talk about that in a little bit, but just to give you a quick example, obviously you cannot take English 102 until you've taken English 101. But there are some other situations, especially if you're going for one of the applied arts and science degrees, where you have to take a certain, welding course before you can take another welding course. So make sure that if you need to take a course in the fall to get to one that you want in the winter and complete your degree, make sure you get that on your fall schedule. You don't want to miss out on that and find out you can't finish for a whole year later because you didn't take the proper prerequisite courses. And then math-related courses for high school. And many of you, maybe by this time you're probably planning for commencement at your high school. But every student, high school student in the state of Michigan, must complete a math-related course in their final year of school. Well, your final year will be as a Blue Water Middle College student in year 13. So you're going to be expected to take a course that is related to math. It could be a very specific math course like Math 110 or Math 113. That would do it. Or it could be a course like accounting or a physics course that has a lot of math in it. If you're all completed with your math for your associate degree and you don't want to take any more college math courses because you don't need them and don't want them, there will be an option for you next year. You will have to complete a relatively brief online math course. It's not nothing, but it's not really difficult either. But something has to be done, and we'll talk more about that. So if you plan next year and you've got a math course, either first semester or second semester, you'll be all set with that. But contact us if you have questions. Okay. You definitely don't want to end up being that student that gets to the end of next year and you realize you're 1 or 2 credits short of your degree. So make sure that the number of credits is going to equal 62 or more. And also, I mentioned this before, it says don't be that student who can't finish on time because he or she didn't take a prerequisite needed for a required course. So you never could get that final course because you didn't take the prerequisite for it. Don't be that student that could have saved thousands of dollars in a year or more of time if you'd researched classes that were sure to transfer. So that is important. Take that time. Make sure that if you take abnormal psychology, that it's likely to help you if you go up to Northern Michigan University or whatever. So do that work. There's help for that, but you're going to have to do some of that work yourself. Now, the courses needed for your degree, this kind of research is on your shoulders, okay? That's that little graphic over to the right there. So it's up to you, but we're not putting out there all by yourself. Of course, there's people and tools available to help. That includes the SC4 advisors, especially when it comes to confirming what you need for your degree, and also for transferability. Now, the middle college staff, we're always there to help you, and many of you come to us first. That's okay. But now that you're getting into your final year at SC4, you've got to start building a relationship with an SC4 advisor. And I strongly recommend that you schedule an appointment to meet with one of them in the next few weeks and then meet again next year, if not over the summer. There's a tool in the Wave called Credits Needed for My Degree. That can show you exactly how many credits you need and what classes are still needed. It can be a little tricky, a little confusing to view at first, so if you need help with that, stop in. Any of us can show you how to use that. I usually do it with students who are in 12th grade and in their final year. I usually have you log in and open up that tool. So that's a pretty cool thing. It's in the academic profile section of your Wave. It's called Credits Needed or Classes Needed for My Degree. And then there are several planning documents. You've seen us introduce these before, but I'm going to refresh your memory on what's available. They are all at this website, so I strongly recommend you maybe pause the video right now and write this down. This is the Student Success Central site that we created to put a lot of things up there. Actually, if you're viewing this, you're probably viewing it from that website. So it's tinyurl.com/BWMC Success. And there you'll find there'll be a link on the left that says Docs and Links for Registration. I believe that's the title. And you'll find a program of study template that you can kind of write in what you've taken. There's graduation worksheets for the science degree, the arts degree, and so on. There's a Michigan Transfer Agreement worksheet, so you can check your status on that. And I'll show you those in just a little bit. So when it comes to then courses that will transfer, again, we're going to get back a little bit just to confirm the courses you needed for your degree. But now if you're to that point, right, all right, I need humanities, one more humanities class. Now, to find out which ones will transfer, you almost have to know what college or colleges you might be heading to after SC4. If you don't know any, it's time to do some research. Come in, see us for some ideas. But if you have a whole bunch of them, then it's time maybe to start narrowing it down to 2 or 3 that you would be applying to in the fall. Maybe more, but most students don't apply to too many more than that. So that's important because some colleges will accept certain classes and others won't. So if you know the colleges that you're heading to, possibly that helps. The next step is the degree you're actually pursuing. So it's important to know, are you going for a Bachelor in Arts with an English or a creative writing major, or are you going for a Bachelor of Science with a biology major? It makes a difference. If you take 3 or 4 writing classes at SC4 and you're going for a science degree at Western Michigan University, all those classes individually might transfer, but your program might only need 1 or 2 writing classes. So in effect, you've taken extra writing classes. I don't want to say you wasted them, but you're not going to be able to use those at a college or university. So it helps to know the degree you're pursuing. As you'll see in a second, when I show you, I'll take you out to a university website and we'll take a look at one of their transfer guides. So here are some of the tools, again, the people that can help. Career Cruising is a good tool. I know most of you finished up your requirements. Some of you have a few final senior year things to do. You're going to have to get that done, or we're not going to allow you to schedule for classes. And you will be contacted specifically if you're one of those students that has not completed all your Career Cruising requirements. But if you get into Career Cruising and you get to a career or 2 or 3 that you're interested in, get to the education section of that career, and then I think it's at the bottom or off to the left, you'll see a link where it'll say Related College Program. And when you click on that, or you'll see a list of possible majors, the way that they're worded at universities. When you then click on that, then it will show you colleges and universities that offer that major. And initially, it'll show you the colleges in Michigan. You can then choose different states. If you want to go out of state, you can choose Arkansas, and it'll show you the colleges that have those majors. And then you can go to the school and then dig deeper into the program. It can be a little tricky at first, so feel free to schedule an appointment, ask one of us, and we'll be glad to help show you how to do that. I'm going to go just in a second to Western Michigan University's website to show you how you can use one of the college websites to find out, or get at least a better idea what classes you might need and what you could take next year that will help you for your program there and for your transferability. And then there's the Michigan Transfer Agreement worksheet. Most of you, if you're pursuing the Associate in Arts or the Associate in Science, those 2 that are designed to transfer, and some that are doing the transfer business, will be completing the requirements for the Michigan Transfer Agreement. And that's a good thing. If you can get that done, it helps with more of your classes transferring more successfully and easily at a college or university in Michigan. So what I'm going to do now is go out to some resources. I'm going to leave the PowerPoint presentation and escape out in just a moment and show you the Western Michigan website. Okay, here we are at Western Michigan University's main website. And what I'm going to do, when you go to a college, whether it's Oakland University, Michigan State, Northern Michigan, Alma College, or whatever, one of the ways the quickest way, I guess, to get to where they talk about the transfer of credits is to go to the search box. Every college website will have one. And either type in credit transfer or transfer guide or something like that. I'm going to type in credit transfer. You can see I've done that before, but I'll do it from scratch. And then let me zoom in a little bit. You'll see some of the choices, and it looks, usually your top 1 or 2 hits will give you the information or the link that you need. And right now I'm seeing what will transfer. It's part of the admissions section of Western's site. And so I'm going to click on that. I think that's going to give me what I want. Okay, so there's information on what will transfer. In a second, I'm going to click on this transfer guide right here. It says curriculum guides are available for a number of WMU programs in which you may be interested. And the guides, as you'll see, are very specific to community colleges, including St. Clair County Community College. There's information about the Michigan Transfer Agreement, and that's one thing we've talked about, and SC4 is helping you to complete. But you do have to make a few wise decisions in your final year to make sure you have the Michigan Transfer Agreement requirements completed. If so, it really helps when it comes to your transferability. And it just, if you look at this line, I'm going to highlight it here. Let me highlight it and then read it. So it says, if your college has signed this agreement, which SC4 has, and you complete the stated requirements, you've met Western Michigan University's freshman/sophomore general education requirements. That's awesome. That's a full year of classes done that you know will transfer. It doesn't mean that a whole nother year won't transfer. It should, or at least another half year, whatever. But get that Michigan transfer agreement done, and you've got a whole year's worth of credits, and it just gives you so much more flexibility when you get there. Okay, so let's click on the transfer guides, and these are often when you go to a university, and sometimes even just going to Google. You can Google transfer guide Oakland University, and it will get you close to something like this. First of all, when it says transfer credit, it does say search for individual course equivalencies right here. It says see how a specific class transfers to Western Michigan. But when you go to the transfer guides, I'm going to scroll down. You'll see all the community colleges in the state listed, including St. Clair County Community College. So I'm going to click on that, and they know then specifically what classes are offered here by their codes, and they pair them up with the Western Michigan classes. Now, there's the course equivalencies. In other words, what is Psych 180 at SC4? What is it called at Western Michigan? But then there's this part over here for major guides, and so it will list the majors offered for a 4-year degree at Western Michigan. Yes, you can get a major in aviation. We're going to click on one of these, and it will open up a PDF file with the course requirements for that. A common degree that students pursue might be psychology, so I'm going to click on the psychology. Again, it opens up a PDF. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger for you. And again, these are the courses and some information related to students coming from St. Clair County Community College, and that is you. Okay, so it mentions there are 2 options for majoring in psychology: a general psychology major and a behavioral science major. And to learn more about those, you have to dig into the department website and go back and search on that. Now, one of the things to keep in mind, again, is the general education requirements, which is near the bottom of the screen. I'm going to bring this up. It says, please refer to Western Michigan's General Education Program Transfer Guide, and that lists the general ed courses. Even though you're going into a psychology major, for a psychology major, you still may need to take a natural science class, such as earth science, and that's one of the general education requirements. Remember the Michigan Transfer Agreement? That's where that comes into play. Now up here, you'll see a couple of choices, and it says the following courses are required for both psychology majors, and I believe it says you must take these courses, have these done before you actually can declare a major, at least in behavioral science, and it lists that up here. So if you have not yet taken Psych 180 at SC4, you want to make sure next year that you take that, because that counts for Psych 1000 at Western Michigan. Same thing with Psych 210 or 220. I can't remember exactly the titles of those, but if you can take them here, you won't have to take Psych 1600 at Western. That would probably cost you about $1,200. So you can then take it at SC4, get it covered. Now there are a couple of classes that there is no equivalent at SC4, and so you're going to have to take those there. But you want to try to look for all the courses, the general ed requirements, and other courses. There might be other psychology courses that are part of the major that you could take here. These are just 2 that you need to take right away and have done to be able to declare the major there. So read carefully when you open these guides. It talks about, semesters of college language and how you can fulfill that. It does say 2 years of one high school language with a B- or higher in the last semester does fulfill that requirement. But anyway, this is just one example of one school, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. But many of them now have these majors. And it says, for example, depending on your major track, in other words, there was 2 psychologies, you'll need 3 to 4 approved psych electives. So then it lists psychology 200, 215, 225, 260, and so on at SC4 are approved psychology electives. Okay, so these are courses that you could take to help you work on your psychology degree at Western Michigan. So that's one example of a major. I'm going to go back to the presentation now. Oh, the other thing, whoops, that I wanted to show you was the worksheets. And so I am going to go back, sorry about that, to the website. Remember that website, tinyurl.com and then /BWMC Success. That gets you to this page, which is the landing page for Student Success Central. What I want to direct you to for this presentation is the Scheduling Docs and Links link right over here. I'm going to click on that, and you'll see a list of a lot of files that you can open up from this page. A lot of them are PDFs. There are some Excel documents and a Word or document or two. These sheets are to help you figure out what courses do I need for my degree. Now, in this case, for example, the numbered year is important. You guys actually, if you're a 12th grader, came in the fall of 2014. So you can use these worksheets. These will apply. Our students that came in this past fall have to use the requirement sheets starting at 2015. If you're going for an associate degree in science, the requirements change just a little bit to make it more beneficial if you use the 2015 requirements, which you can do. So I'm just going to click on that to show you again what that looks like. You've seen me put these up on the screen before. I'm not going to take time to go through all of them, but this is where you would jot down the credits. If you've taken Political Science 101, you would write a 3 on this line here. If you've taken Psychology 180, you'd write a 4 here. The previous worksheet that you might have seen last year, this is where the change is, required 8 social science credits and 8 humanities credits, but that was actually lowered to 6 in each section with this school year, and you can use the requirements for this year if you want. So if you only want to take 2 social science classes and you've already done political science and psychology, then you don't need any more social science. They tried to free up a little more electives for students. Same with the humanities. If you only took, if you've already taken speech and history 101, you could stop there. But I want to caution you, to get the Michigan Transfer Agreement, speech does not count for that. And so if you took speech and only one other humanities class, you'll probably want to take another humanities even though you've met the 6 credit requirement. And come see us or see an SC4 advisor about that if you're not sure what I'm talking about. We'll be glad to help. And then there's the 18 credits, that's remained the same. The point is, this is a worksheet. You may not be going for the science degree, and so then you could open up the arts degree and so on. Okay, the applied arts and science degrees, those are like criminal justice, early childhood education, and so on. For those, you have to go to the SC4 website and under academics, choose degree, or I think degrees and programs, that link, and then you can link to your program and open up a course listing. Those are much more specific, so there's not a general worksheet for those. While we're on this page, so those are all the worksheets. There are Excel documents that allow you to track your requirements. If I click on this, it won't actually allow me to, let me see if I can make this bigger. I don't know if I can right now, but let me see if this helps. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Ms. Weimer created an Excel document, and you have to download it and then open it in Excel. You could do this on your iPad if you want. And then you enter in your credits that you've taken for the classes. You can write the classes here, and then it will actually tell you how many credits you still need. This is for the associate in arts, so you need 8 credits or more in social science. But it's kind of cool. It'll tell you what you need. So you can either do it by pencil on the PDF sheet or open up an Excel worksheet and keep track of your credits here. Okay, so that's the Excel document. There's one for science and arts. The other thing I wanted to show you, there's this program of study template. And if you've sat down with me or many of the other middle college folks, I've used this one. And I took off the high school part at the top. And basically you write in your college courses going back all the way to the beginning. And then you're down now to your final 2 semesters. And this is where you can pencil in if you need a science class and so on. So it really is a good tool so you don't miss something. You can also add up your credits at the bottom of each semester. You can record the number of credits, add up where you are now. You need 62 total, so you can determine how many do I need next year. Okay, just so you know, each semester and as a year 13 student, you can take between 14 and 16 credit hours per semester. You can actually take up to 17 credits per semester, but that gets to be a lot. But if you really need that and you think you can do it, you can go ahead and schedule up to 17 credits. If you go over that, then you're going to have to pay for one of the classes that put you over. Okay, so keep that in mind. See us if you have questions about that. So that's a blank program of study sheet. I had a student the other day ask me if we had it in Word, and we do. So this would open up Word, and you can save it, and then you can type your courses in if you want. Two more things. The Michigan Transfer Agreement requirements. I talked about those requirements. This is important as you go into your final year. So here is the sheet. This is found on the back of the copies of the worksheets that we give you if you come into the Middle College. But basically you need English 101, and you'll have that done. You need English 102. Most of you will have that done for your degree. And then it says 2 courses in social science from 2 different disciplines. Now, one of those courses will be Political Science 101, but the other course has to be something like psychology, sociology, anthropology. It's got to be a different discipline than political science. Okay, so if it has the same front name or code like PS, it's not a different discipline. Then you need 2 courses in the humanities section from 2 different disciplines. And remember, speech does not count as one of these 2. It does count towards your SC4 degree, but it does not count for the Michigan Transfer Agreement. So if you took History 101, then your other course could be Art Appreciation, Art 120 or Art 121, something that's listed on the worksheet. So check the worksheet. Don't check drawing. That does not count for you can take that, but it doesn't count for a humanities course for the Michigan Transfer Agreement. You need 2 courses in science, and again, if you're taking the arts, or if you're going for the arts degree or the science degree, at least 2 courses are required. One must have a lab, same as the degree requirements here, but they must be from 2 different disciplines. To get an associate in arts degree, both your science classes could be biology, but that would not work for the Michigan Transfer Agreement. So if you're going for the arts degree, you probably should take something like Biology 100 and maybe Earth Science or Astronomy or something like that from 2 different disciplines. It says 1 course from the appropriate mathematics pathway. That's a little too much to put into this presentation, but basically to get your associate degree in arts or science, if you get that level of math, which is math 104, 120, 113 for arts, and 113 or 120 for science, then you will have met the math requirement for the Michigan Transfer Agreement. Okay, so go ahead and print this out and write down the courses that you've taken and what you still need to take, and if you have questions about it, let us know. I'm just going to close some of these. I think that's it. Oh, one last thing, the SC4 Course Chooser created this last year. Just some questions to think about. And if you can answer yes to a lot of these questions for the courses you want next fall, I think you'll be in pretty good shape. So one of the questions is, am I interested in this course? So if so, then put a yes down for that. Do I fully understand what the course is about? So that's part of it. It might sound good, but you don't want to get in there and say this isn't what I thought it was. The next question, does the course help fulfill my program of study? In other words, does it help you get your SC4 degree? If yes, that's a good thing. Do I qualify for the course? If I try to register for it, will I be blocked because I haven't met the prerequisites yet? Go to the course in the course catalog, which is online, and look at the prerequisites and see if you've met them. Is the course likely to transfer to another college? Now, that's not absolutely necessary. The other reasons may make you want to take it, but it's a good question to ask. Do I know if this will likely transfer to somewhere I want to go in the future? And then, will it fit with my schedule? And this is important. Now, next year you'll have no high school classes, so you can take morning classes, evening classes, and so on. A little later in the presentation, you'll hear me recommend against stacking too many classes in one day, so be careful about that. And then the final question is, do I need to take it now? So that can work 2 ways. If it's a prerequisite and you answer yes, then boy, you better take that class. If you don't need to, then maybe it can be pushed back to the winter and fit into your schedule better. So you could list all the courses you're thinking of and then write Y or N in these, and then you'll get a good idea of is this a good course for me to take. All this stuff takes time, you guys. Remember the photos way back at the beginning, the lazy river, where I'm just going to kind of take what my friends have taken or what sounds good or whatever, or I'm really going to focus and know what I'm doing. It does take work. Those guys in the canoe that were paddling hard, they were working hard, but they're going to get where they're going, and they're going to get where they're going faster. Okay? All right, I think that's it for all these scheduling docs, but they're all there. I'm going to take a short break and jump back to the presentation in just 1 minute. Okay, back to the presentation, getting closer to the end, but some more important parts remain. So we've talked about transferring classes, we've talked about courses needed for your degree. Here are a few miscellaneous final considerations when choosing classes. Know your prerequisites, I mentioned that earlier. If, for example, you're going for the business degree, you have to get through accounting. I believe it's 212, and before you take that you need 211, and before you can take that you need accounting 189. So make sure you know your prerequisites. Get your 62 credits. If you took a course such as Reading 50, Math 75, English 75, the credits earned for those courses do not count towards your 62. So if you go to the credits needed for my degree, courses needed for my degree tool, it includes those number of credits in your total. So you might think I only have 30 to go when actually you might have 35. So make sure you know where you stand with regards to credits that count towards your degree. That has to be 100 level or above courses. Online courses are risky. So many students in just the past month or two, not only do they struggle in online courses, they're probably the most frequent type of courses students want to drop. The grades are usually a little bit lower in them. They work for some students. You might have taken some and like them, and that's fine if you want to take more, but I would really caution you to think hard about taking an online course because generally students do not like them as much and don't do as well in them. Mentioned this a minute or so ago, don't stack too many courses on one day. In other words, I wouldn't put any more than 3 classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, for example. You're going to be taking probably 4 or 5 classes a semester next year. Do not try to put them all on one day. You'll be sorry that you did. It's just exhausting and can really affect your grade when you have too much on one day and you can't prepare for all those courses. And watch work. A lot of times students, because they're out of high school, up the number of hours they are working. If you're over 18, then the laws in terms of hours worked don't apply. And it really is a bad trade-off if you're working 25, 30 hours a week because your grades will start to slip. And if you're going on to a 4-year university, remember every class that you get a C- or below probably will not transfer, even if it would have before. So extra dollars, if it means bad grades for you, is a poor trade-off. So really be careful about gearing up. Tell your boss, no, I'll do 3 shifts, but that's it. Okay? Reviewing the process for registration. Again, it opens on Monday, April 11th. The fall classes should be viewable. Matter of fact, they are viewable right now. They opened up on Monday, April 4th, so they're there now. Use your schedule planner tool to plan, but remember the schedule planner does not register you for courses. So you can use that tool. You can take away your break in terms of high school that you may have from last year. If you know you work on certain days or at certain times, you can block out those time periods and then enter all your courses that you'd like to take and let it generate possible schedules for you. I'll probably be sending out an email to all students about registration with tips, and it'll have a link to a presentation that Ms. Weimer recorded in the fall on using the schedule planner. So if you need a little refresher on that, view that video. You don't need to register for all your classes at once, but it's not a bad idea to do so. But if you have 2 or 3 that you know you want to take or need to take, go in and lock those courses in early. Get yourself a seat in those courses. You can always add your 1 or 2 extra courses around them in the weeks to come. Now, be sure to read the message at the top of the page after you click submit. Once you actually choose to register for the classes that are in your preferred sections part of the registration page, make sure you read the top. There should be just a very brief message that says the following requests have been processed, and then it'll say registered, 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 and so on. If you get a message where there's a lot of writing, usually there's an orange bar that shows up there, your registration did not go through, and it only takes one class to block all of your courses from going through that time. So if one class is blocked, none of your classes go through that time. Now, if you read which class is being blocked, let's say it's a science class that you haven't met the prerequisite for, then go back to the preferred sections. Don't choose anything from the drop-down menu for that class. You can choose the other classes to register for, and those should go through okay. If you want to confirm that you're registered, follow steps on the MI Registered page to confirm your fall schedule. The MI Registered page is part of the Student Success Central website. You'll see a link to it off to the left. Okay, we talked a little bit about grades. I'll go kind of quickly through this, but it's important for you guys to see how well you do. You middle college students do really well in your college courses. Some students do struggle, but there's usually a reason for that. I'm not saying an excuse by any means. It's usually a reason that the student's not doing something that they should be doing. But let's go through some of this. First of all, the great news from all the fall classes that were taken by middle college students, and there were over 1,700 college classes taken at SC4 in the fall alone. 40% of the grades were A- or A. And out of those, about 3/4 of those were A. Solid A. That is fantastic. Now, another 30% of the grades were B-, B, and B+. And most of those were B and B+. So again, middle college students are getting it done. 70% of the grades B- or above. And then another 13% were C or better, okay, which brings that total 83% of the grades were a C or higher. So those courses should transfer on to a 4-year university. Some colleges do take courses with a C-. Now that was only 1.7% of the grades, but those may transfer as well. So a lot of schools, some more are allowing C- courses to transfer. Now, there were students, a total of 11.7% of the grades, so over 10% were a C- and below. The D part of that and the C- was 6.5%. So not a great majority by any means, but still more than we wish would happen. And here's something I want you to take note of. 5% of the grades for the classes last fall were an E grade. And I have in this little box here, there was no reason to end up with an E. And I really believe that, students, if they're attending class regularly, if you've only missed 1 or 2 sessions, and you really shouldn't miss more than that, and you've been trying and you've been going to get help when needed, it's very rare that you would end up work hard and still get an E in a class. So if you've earned an E in a class, you need to reflect on what you did or didn't do that led to that. There's no reason to not get those credits. There's another number, almost 6%, which is very disappointing, and that stands for withdraws. And students withdraw for a class, sometimes for good reasons. We've had students move away, and in the middle of the semester they move, and that happens. They have to go with their family, so they withdraw from the class. So in some cases, there's a very legitimate reason. Some students are sick or in an accident or something, and they just cannot attend class enough to stay up in the class. Therefore, you withdraw. That's what it's there for. Other students contact us, they're withdrawing just because they don't get along with the instructor doesn't teach the way they like. That is not a good reason to withdraw. And if you've withdrawn from classes, you really need to think about why you've done that. It's a huge cost to you and the middle college. We do pay the tuition for withdrawn courses, but it's a huge cost for you. In dollars, it adds up to about $40,000 of SC4 tuition. But if you multiply that by 3, which is about the amount that university credits are worth, our students have given up about $125,000 $1,000 worth of university credit. So again, withdrawing, sometimes there's a good reason for it. Most times there's not. You just need to get help and get to work. Okay. Some of you will be getting, well, all of you will be getting your SC4 grades probably early May. Finals week is the first week in May, and then very shortly after that, the next week, your grades and your grade point average will be posted. If your GPA is below 2.0 at the end of this semester, you will be placed on academic warning for the fall. Now, that means that if your grade point average does not go above 2.0 in the fall, you do get that chance to get your grades above a 2.0, which is a C average, then you will be placed on academic suspension for the winter semester. You will not be able to take college courses, and basically your middle college career will be over, and you will have given up a chance at 4 or 5 college classes in the winter. So some of you may already be on warning, and hopefully that means your grade point was below a 2.0 at the end of the fall semester. Hopefully your grade point is going to end up above a 2.0 at the end of the winter semester. Okay, so work hard the next few weeks. We've only got another month to go, but there are some big projects due, some final exams, and every 1/10 of a grade point can count. A 2.1, you're not on academic warning. A 1.9, and you are. So work hard. One final note about courses, well, not a final note, but developmental education courses. Some of you still may be placed into English 75 or Math 75 and may need to take those to move on towards your degree. The middle college cannot pay for them, so you or your family would have to pay for those courses if you still need to take them. Now, what you can do if you currently place into one of those courses, you should contact one of us to learn how you can prepare to retake the Compass test and place out of the developmental ed class unless you want to take it. And it might be appropriate, it might be a course that you need, but we just cannot pay the tuition for that. The state does not allow us to do that. I created a web page on the Student Success Central site, and it's near the top. You can link to it. I believe it's called SC4 Placement Exams or something like that, and there's information on how to see sample Compass test items and how to schedule a retake. Okay, final section, college applications. I'll go through this fairly quickly, but it will be important for some of you who want to get on this early. The college application season begins late this summer, so as early as August you can apply and start applying to colleges for the following fall. If not August, we'll have a session very early in the fall, a success session. It's the first one we offer to all our students, and it's for our Year 13 students on how to apply to college. There are steps you can take this spring and summer to be ready for the application season, and you really should do some of these things. So one is to research colleges that you may want to attend. Unless you know for sure what you want to attend, you need to start learning more about the schools. Visit their websites. The college websites are full of information. There are virtual tours, there's photographs of the dining halls. You can find out a bit about the different degrees they offer. Do they have the programs that you want? So just get into those websites, spend some time and explore them. I recommend visiting the school this summer. You'll be done with college classes on May 6th, so maybe after your classes are over for the high school, either in the morning or many of you will be done later in May, schedule a tour at a college or university or several. Call for a full tour. Go on the website. Often you can schedule right from there. But you don't want to just go to a school and drive around. You're going to miss so much about what it offers and going into the buildings and learning more about how they help students and what their students do and so on. Now, when it comes to applying, we will have, as I mentioned, a success session very early next year to explain the college application process. There are several things you need to know about applying as a middle college student. If you want to get started before that, that's great, but keep in mind the following. You must apply as a freshman, not a transfer student. It doesn't mean that your courses won't transfer, but you apply as a freshman. You still haven't graduated from high school. So they treat you just as they would treat a 12th grader in the fall that's applying for college the next year. Okay? Your high school is the Blue Water Middle College Academy. It's not Port Huron, it's not Memphis, it's not KPAC. It's the Blue Water Middle College Academy. If you search for the middle college, we will show up in their searches. If not, they'll have a choice where you can put in a school on your own. But they're going to look to us for your final high school transcript. They're going to ask, one of the first things they'll do when you apply is ask for your high school transcript to be sent there. If you send your partner high school transcript, it's going to miss 10 of your last high school classes. All your college classes will not be on your Port Huron or KPAC or Algonac transcripts, for example. So make us your high school, and that'll be fine. The ACT score may impact on whether or not you get into a college or university, and it may impact whether or not you're offered a scholarship there. So if you have retaken the ACT, let us know. Make sure that we have the best score report to send to a college. Sometimes students or the college will request a copy of your ACT report. And we need to have that so we can update that information and make sure they're sending the best score, that we're sending the best score to the college. So if you haven't retaken the ACT, it can make a difference. A point or two can make a big difference in getting into a college or not. If you currently, your composite is a 21, well, having a 22 or 23 might help you get into Michigan State or Grand Valley State more than having that 21 or a 20. It also can impact scholarships. Sometimes, again, a 20 or a 21 might not qualify you for any scholarships, where a 22 or 23 might qualify you for automatically $2,000 a year. You don't even have to apply for it. It just comes because they see your ACT score, which is pretty cool. Should you retake it? Probably. Of the students who retake the ACT, almost 60% increase their composite score. 21% have no change. And about another 25% actually go down. It's okay if your score goes down. The colleges look at your top score. Okay, so don't worry. It's like, oh no, what if it goes down? They'll take the highest score into consideration. To retake it, you have to go to act.org or actstudent.org. I'm not going to demo that right now. June 11th is the best date for taking it, if at all possible, because they don't offer it again until the fall. If you take it on Saturday, June 11th, you'll get your scores back by mid-July, and you can use those for your college applications early in the fall. The deadline to register for the June 11th test is May 6th, so that's about a month away, but it's $39.50. You do not need to do the writing component. That adds extra cost, and it's actually, you don't need it. Colleges just use the composite, and the writing, where you actually write an essay, is not part of your composite. So it'll cost you just under $40 for the taking it. Should you practice before the retake? I just say duh. Yes, you should. Take a sample test or two. If you remember that mel.org site, and I can help you. There's actually a link to a video for the 11th graders that explain how to do that. But just contact us if you want to find out more about that site and how to access it. And it mentions there's an ACT prep page on the Student Success Central. Okay, so take a practice test. It doesn't make sense if you haven't looked at it in a year to retake it. You should do a little bit of practice before retaking it. So again, go to act.org, click on the ACT test section, and then it says click on Getting Ready in the For Students section, and so on. I'm going through this quickly. You can always pause and come back to the video if you want to. Go ahead and register a few weeks from now. Okay? Finally, look for an email coming from me in the next week or two. We'll be looking for tour guides. There's a lot of 8th graders coming to campus late May and early June. There's 4 different days, and SC4 can really use the help of middle college students. We help them every year. If you still have high school classes and they're not final exam days, you will be, or you should be, excused. Some of you will already be graduated, if you will. You've gone through commencement at your high school. Which is awesome if you can help, if you're not working or something. So look for that email. We only ask for 1 day's commitment. It's a lot of fun, and it's huge help, and you're kind of like the expert now talking to these students. So look for the email from me. One other thing of interest, if you like to take a literature or creative writing course, but you haven't taken English 102, the college now has changed the prerequisite for taking those courses. You can register for any English 200 level course if you've completed English 101, and most of you have by this point. Now, you still need to take English 102 to complete your degree, but if you want to take a creative writing course along with English 102, or you want to take U.S. literature or something like that, you can do that. I think the only case is, I don't know if they have that prerequisite automatically turned on in the WAVE system. So if you want that course, English 205, for example, that one you're going to have to go in the one-stop office to register for. One of the ladies there will do the override right there. Okay? So just something. A lot of our students don't get to the 200 level courses because they haven't taken English 102. Finally, high school commencement. You need to complete all your high school graduation requirements to qualify to walk. You should know your status with your requirements by now. Some of you still have courses to complete at the high school, of course, and pass, just like your classmates there do. If you're not sure, contact Mrs. Barr or Ms. Weimer, and they'll be able to help you know where you stand with regard to that. And contact us. You know where we are and how to get in touch with us. And that is it. And an appointment to talk about degree planning. Students have already started to make appointments with me, and I'm sure the others. I think it's a great idea. Fill up our calendar, especially going into this important last year. Okay? Now, look for an assignment below the video posted on the Success Central page. There'll be a few things you have to submit back to Ms. Weimer. Once that's done and we've seen that you viewed the video, then you'll be all set. But as you can see, there's a lot of good important information in here beyond just getting it done as an assignment. Thank you. That's it.